Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast is part of the Chaos Imprint. This audio podcast is part of the path modality. This audio podcast is part of a shitstorm broadcast. This audio podcast is part of the Armada and Storm mode. This audio podcast as part of a Storm Robotics production. Through this audio podcast today, sort of the continuing an overview, if you will, in around the review of virus structure and nature and pathogenicity. This audio podcast will look at replication strategies, in around aspects of replication strategies of in around sort of an over sort of a gen sort of in around an overview basis of the replication strategies of different viruses in context of large viruses, small viruses, and then there will be a little bit of a look into the infection, a viral infection versus a viral disease. So to begin with, in around replication strategy of viruses, it is where large viruses, for example, have a high molecular weight nucleic acid, and generally code for many proteins and code for many of the enzymes involved in viral replication. In amongst small viruses, they have low molecular weight nucleic acids. They have a limited coding capacity, and they use at least some cellular enzymes and factors for replication. In as part of some sort of underlying aspects of viral infection versus viral disease. Pathogenic virus must, for example, enter the host, overcome local host defenses, spread from the site of inoculation, undergo further replication, interfere with or resist host defenses, damage the host or damage a host, and then additionally sort of exit from the host as well. So that draws this audio podcast to a close. There will be again some literature in as part of this audio podcast, and as part of this audio podcast series, in as part of for example, on social media, on social media, so anyone who is intrigued by some of the context can look to and refer to some of the literature in around this. The subsequent audio podcasts in around this series will look at the basis of the transmission of viral infections. That draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast being part of the Chaos Imprint. This audio podcast being as part of the Path modality, and as part of audio podcast as part of the Shitstorm broadcast. This audio podcast is part of the Armada and Storm mode. This audio podcast is part of a Storm Robotics production.